Hill Street Blues, weeknights at 7 here on Q13.
You're watching Fox.
In 1985, Stephen DiLorenzo was convicted of shooting his former girlfriend. He was serving 14 to 20 years when he escaped from prison in Massachusetts. This week, he wrote to America's Most Wanted, offering to surrender. Tonight, a special message to Stephen DiLorenzo. And from Pittsburgh, a robber who knows how to get people to open their doors. Disguised as a repairman, he stunned his victim and took valuables from a secret hiding place. Then, he posed as a letter carrier to carry out a robbery. And when it was over, one man was dead.
If some of you think about it hard enough at night, you'll dream about it the same night.
Police say this is the man who committed those crimes. Please help us find Rafik Brooks. The FBI says James Clark has stolen $250,000 in quarters, nickels, and dimes from pay telephones across America. Tonight he's at large, and your calls to 1-800-CRIME-88 can trigger the manhunt that captures America's Most Wanted. Good evening and welcome to America's Most Wanted. I'm John Walsh. This is our 26th telecast. So far, we've profiled 72 fugitives. 32 of them, 44%, are now in custody, half of them as a direct result of your phone tips. On the average, it takes 16 days for authorities to arrest a fugitive profiled here. That's a remarkable accomplishment. It's possible because you care enough to call. We also know that across America, convicted criminals are watching in their prison cells. And we know from experience that many of the fugitives we profile are watching. Tonight, a man who escaped from prison in Massachusetts may be tuned to our program, waiting for a message. On Friday morning, we received a letter we believe was written by Stephen DiLorenzo. He was profiled on May 29th. We're going to show you that report, then tell you what federal authorities are going to do to encourage Stephen DiLorenzo to turn himself in. March 18th, 1977. Stephen DiLorenzo was fixing Kelly Orsher's car at her home in Brockton, Massachusetts. According to Orsher, her romance with DiLorenzo had recently gone sour, and she told him that she didn't want to see him anymore. DiLorenzo was hoping fixing Kelly's car might make a difference. He was wrong.
Stephen, what are you doing here?
You blew your water pump.
It's raining.
I knew you needed it.
Stephen.
Sarge, can you introduce me? Jeff. Yeah.
I want you out of here now.
Hey, I'm just fixing your car.
Fine.
Orsher and her friend went inside while DiLorenzo continued to work on the car. Kelly's roommate Brenda was helping with dinner, and Kelly's children from a previous marriage were upstairs playing.
Jeff, will you stop sticking the spoon back in the pot after you've licked it?
Oh,
It's really good.
I fixed the water pump. I don't know about the overheating problem. You may need a radiator, thermostat. I gotta check it out.
Stephen, look. I appreciate your fixing the car. I'll even pay you for it. But I don't owe you a thing. Now, would you please go? Please.
DiLorenzo had been hanging around the house for nearly a month, even though Orsher made it clear that they were through. On this day, she finally made her point. At 4 p.m. this Thursday afternoon, Stephen Sidney DiLorenzo finally gave up on Kelly Orsher.
Maybe we should call the police.
Why?
Despite several .22 caliber bullet wounds to the face, neck, throat, and arms, Kelly Orsher survived.
He shot me 5 times, and it was just terror. This can't be happening, and all I could think about was my children, and that's all I could think about.
In 1984, 7 years later, the FBI finally arrested DiLorenzo in New Orleans. He was convicted for the attempted murder of Kelly Orsher. DiLorenzo was given 14 to 20 years and confined to the maximum security state prison at Walpole, Massachusetts. A year and a half later, DiLorenzo was transferred to the state prison in Bridgewater to serve the rest of his term. Stephen DiLorenzo was a repeat offender. This was not his first time behind bars. DiLorenzo had been convicted of assault 3 times since 1971.
It appears that all over the country, he has befriended women, gone out with them for a while, and developed a relationship. And at a point in time, the relationship is stopped, usually by the female. At that time, he feels rejected, and he resorts to violence. In one particular case in the state of Washington, he broke a woman's neck.
I saw you too.
The victim was a dancer in an exotic nightclub, and they had been living together for about a year, and she had tried to break off the relationship. And one night he came home and tied her to a bed, naked, and proceeded to physically assault her. We've developed a profile on the subject, and it appears that this series of crimes he has committed through his history stems directly to his childhood, being brought up in a home. Reports indicate that he was physically abused by his parents, specifically by his mother.
According to corrections officials, DiLorenzo's relatives substantiate the childhood abuse charges. So does this letter, found by prison guards, written to his father by DiLorenzo.
My childhood was beyond horrible and frightening. It was brutal. My mother beat me every day, often several times. I sincerely regret that I did not somehow kill my mother when I was 7 or 8. She deserved it.
Stephen DiLorenzo served less than 3 years of his sentence. In May of 1987, he escaped from Bridgewater Prison. Prison officials say he constructed a life-size dummy and put it in his bed as a decoy. He ripped the steel grating out of his cell and slithered out the narrow window. The ex-Marine had lost 50 pounds and had been weaving a rope out of bed sheets for months. He anchored the rope to the roof and slid down the wall outside the razor wire fence. No one has heard from him since. Stephen DiLorenzo has worked in shipyards. He has also worked as an automobile mechanic, a truck driver, and a restaurant manager.
I believe someday he does want to get caught, and he does want to come back to prison, because I think that's where he can handle it. I don't think he can handle it on the outside.
On Friday morning, we received this letter, signed Stephen DiLorenzo. It was postmarked Boston. Authorities say the handwriting and style clearly match letters written by DiLorenzo during his years in prison. In this letter, DiLorenzo says, and we quote, "You will not so easily pry from my hands this delicate freedom from which I struggled." DiLorenzo tells of run-ins with the law which started when he was 21. But he says, and we quote, "This does not excuse my behavior in Brockton, Mass. I am deeply remorseful, and no one is sorrier than I." That reference, of course, is to the shooting you just saw reconstructed. But in his letter, DiLorenzo says that he wants to surrender if certain conditions are met. And he writes, "I will monitor your next 2 broadcasts for a reply. If it is in the affirmative, I will surrender myself to the nearest federal authorities at once. Very truly yours, Stephen DiLorenzo." Stephen, we can assure you the FBI is taking your letter seriously. And in it you point out you can't afford legal assistance, and you're looking for someone to represent you. We know you want to speak with federal authorities. That's why FBI agents are here in our studios right now. They've come to talk with you, to discuss the questions you've raised in your letter, and arrange a safe surrender. You know our number, 1-800-CRIME-88. Just identify yourself to our operators, and everything you wrote about can be discussed. We think you're taking a step in the right direction, and we encourage you to do the right thing. Call us. We'll be back in a moment.
Now, let me see. Big selection. No waiting. What else? Oh, yes, the big statement on Corolla FX options packages. And Camry, too. If I could just get over there. Hurry home! Well done, man. Carry on. Oh, no. You can save big on Camry options packages, too. So...
Toyota's really big sales event. It only happens once a year, and it's happening now.
No.
Do some of this, do some of that. You like this, you love that. Give them all a little pat of butter. Spread on this, slip on that. 36 calories, how about that? Give yourself a pat, give your friend a pat. Give them all a little pat of butter.
Delicious, pure, fresh, natural dairy butter. It has the same calories as margarine, just 36 per pat. Isn't that great?
Go for this, go for that. Give them all a little pat of butter.
Our next case comes from suburban Pittsburgh. Police in Monroeville, Pennsylvania are searching for a 23-year-old man who's accused of committing 2 extremely violent robberies. These attacks took place in the homes of innocent victims. Attacks that came out of the blue, leaving the victims robbed, beaten, or dead.
Monroeville, Pennsylvania, November 4th, 1986. Vince Chianese, a Pittsburgh pizza entrepreneur, had called for a furnace repairman. Shortly before noon, police say, Rafik Brooks arrived at Chianese's home. As shown in this reconstruction, he wore coveralls and carried a clipboard. But he wasn't the repairman Chianese was expecting. Police say Brooks was armed with a stun gun. The home was protected by a sophisticated burglar alarm. Chianese switched it off to open the door.
Oh, sir. Oh, yes. I'm waiting for you.
When the stun gun didn't subdue Chianese, police say Brooks beat him unconscious. Police believe that Brooks had an accomplice. While Chianese was unconscious, they went to the basement and removed some bricks from the fireplace.
They had definitely inside information that he had something in that fireplace.
In a secret hiding place, they found Chianese's gun collection and some rare coins. According to police, they took the guns and a $1,200 gold chain. Neighbors saw 2 men get into a white 1982 Camaro and drive away. It was a stolen car.
Next thing I knew, I found myself at my desk, and the phone was ringing. I answered the phone.
I've been mugged. Call the police.
They broke my jawbone. They broke 3 ribs. They broke my elbow. If you think about it hard enough at night, you'll dream about it the same night. But it's always there whether you want it to be or not.
Mr. Brooks is a known street fighter. He is known to have a very violent temper. He's the type of guy that would jump on you in a second.
Police say Brooks is a trained boxer, a martial artist, and a robber for hire.
He normally takes orders from somebody else. He's their strong-arm man. He's the guy that actually does the crime. He's the bad guy.
6 weeks later, on December 18th, another household was victimized. At approximately 8:30 that morning, police say, Rafik Brooks and 2 accomplices arrived at the home of Tim and Bobby Anderson in Plumboro, Pennsylvania. This time, the robber was disguised as a mailman and armed with a real gun. The Andersons ran a mail order business from their home, so they weren't surprised to be getting a delivery. Bobby Anderson went to answer the door. With her was her sister, Stacy. According to police reports, this is what happened next.
Can I help you?
This package for Tim Anderson?
Can I check it? He's not up yet.
No, I need to see him.
get into the bedroom, but Tim Anderson barred the door. Brooks tried to fire, but his gun didn't work. Police think that Brooks was hired by somebody who knew the Andersons, knew their schedules, and believed that they had money at home. Brooks left the jewelry box behind, but grabbed Bobby's purse. When it was over, the three men escaped with only $300 in cash, and Tim Anderson was dead.
In the news tonight, police are after this man and two others for a bizarre murder in Plumboro.
2 days later, Aaron Robinson, the getaway driver, surrendered. In a signed statement, Robinson named Brooks as the trigger man and gave his account of the crime.
You know what happened?
Robinson said they threw the murder weapon off the Glenwood Bridge into the Monongahela River. Police have not recovered the gun.
Where's the car now?
I destroyed it.
Robinson said he burned the car that night in a cemetery overlooking Pittsburgh. Earlier this month, Robinson pleaded guilty to third-degree murder for his role in the Anderson killing. Rafik Brooks is still at large.
Earlier this month, the second accomplice in the Anderson shooting also pleaded guilty to third-degree murder charges. He's been given a 10 to 20-year sentence, but Rafik Brooks is still at large. Police speculate that Brooks may have carried out his robberies on the orders of organized crime. He has reportedly been seen in Baltimore and in Detroit, where family members live. Brooks has worked as a disc jockey, playing records at private parties. He's a trained boxer who likes to dress in designer sweatsuits. He sometimes goes by the nickname Siki. He's also used the name Raymond Jones, and sometimes his brother's name, Eugene Brooks. Have you seen him? Let us know. 1-800-CRIME-88, a free and confidential call, and perhaps an important clue for the Pittsburgh FBI agents and Allegheny County police officers with us tonight. In a moment, the story of a man who's said to have nickeled and dimed his way into an illegal fortune of over $250,000. Stay with us.
6 reasons why the West was wild. Emilio Estevez, Kiefer Sutherland, Casey Shamashko, Dermot Mulroney, Lou Diamond Phillips, Charlie Sheen, Young Guns, rated R. Starts Friday, August 12th.
Sometimes things that look alike are really very different. Both little mousies have cheese sandwiches, but Jan's tastes much better because it's got Kraft singles made from 5 ounces of milk per slice. Fred's sandwich has imitation slices. They're made from mostly oil and water. So remember, just because things look alike doesn't mean they are. Kraft singles. Milk makes them better.
Another beautiful Monday.
A dog who's a big eater, man, that's a big problem. Extra pounds. But now there's new Alpo Light with real meat, 100% adult nutrition, and 25% less calories. New Alpo Light, the healthy way to satisfy a healthy appetite.
They're reporters with their own opinions.
If anyone tried to live by different rules, he did.
They're not afraid of controversy.
Why would Sinatra allegedly know all these mob guys? Well, that's he likes that.
Are getting involved.
Would you call that a cover-up?
They found her body at 4:45 in the morning.
And taking risks.
That's not Cognio.
No.
He made an honest mistake.
He's so tricky.
They don't just give you the stories. They live them. The Reporters, Saturday on Fox.
This is the best time ever to pick up a new Ford Ranger, the best compact truck value in the Northwest. First, get up to $750 cash back from Ford. Then save over $1,200 on a special value package with chrome bumpers, sliding rear window, AM/FM cassette, special trim, and more. With your cash back and all these options, you'll drive away a Ford Ranger for under $8,000. Ford Ranger, the Northwest's top value in compact trucks.
The FBI says James Abel Clark has robbed payphones across America. If they're right, over the years, these small change robberies have added up to more than $250,000.
There's a holdup man at large tonight, and he carries a .38. But his victims don't put up much of a fight. This bandit robs payphones. Despite $1 million worth of engineering by phone companies, the FBI says James Abel Clark has somehow invented a lock-picking device that allows him to rob payphones at will. Clark, 47 years old, is a former machinist and has been identified as the only person in the United States capable of picking the tough locks on America's 1.8 million payphones. Telephone company officials have been unable to determine the precise nature of the tool he uses.
Yeah, I find it's incredible getting so many phones, without destroying them. There's a lot of vandalism, but where is the money gone? And like I said before, the locks are so secure, especially pitch-proof, and apparently not till he gets in them.
He goes about the theft in a casual manner, the receiver cradled in his ear, often using a newspaper to hide his hand. A single phone can hold up to $100 worth of change. Once he removes the coin box, Clark closes the drawer again. His crime often goes undiscovered until a coin collector comes around. Investigators say that Clark favors Western garb, baseball caps, and cowboy boots. He wears glasses and often pays for food and other items with coins wrapped in rolls.
Don't think the crimes attributed to James Clark by the FBI are victimless. The cost of these robberies is passed along to telephone company customers. Here's what we know about the man. These are the only photos available, so look carefully. James Abel Clark may have an addiction to aspirin, consuming as much as half a bottle a day. Clark usually stays in Motel 6s, and he's said to buy most of his food at 7-Eleven stores. In March, he's believed to have struck payphones between Jacksonville and Daytona, Florida. He likes car races and frequents country and western bars. Last summer, he was seen in Columbus, Ohio, driving a metallic blue Chevy Astro van with mag wheels. If you've seen James Clark, call us now at 1-800-CRIME-88. We'll be back in a moment with an update on the case of accused killer James Charles Stark.
Pain is a fact of life here. For everyday pain, the choice of hospitals is Tylenol. Clinically proven effective for all kinds of pain. And it's so easy on your stomach, most ulcer patients can use it. Tylenol. It's tough on pain, easy on your stomach.
Somehow there's got to be a cure for athlete's foot. Hey, step up to the mic. Mike, this cures athlete's foot. It's got myconazole. There's nothing more powerful than this.
Step up to the cure. Step up to the Mycotin.
Some people think Toyota is blowing this big event thing way out of proportion. Well, maybe a little, but there's no exaggerating the deals on Toyota's most popular cars and trucks.
They're big. But what happens when it's over? Which it nearly is, and you've missed it.
Well then, you will have missed out on Toyota's biggest sales event of the year.
Last chance. The big event, the big selection, and the big deals are going fast. Don't miss it. Toyota's really big sales event ends soon.
That's it? That's all? You gotta be kidding.
What's that? If you thought dental cleanings were easy with tartar control crest, they're just not easy. Introducing new and improved tartar control crest.
You're all done? No.
The new tartar fighting formula can actually help stop tartar before it starts. Tartar control crest, the dentist choice, is now harder on tartar and easier on you. Thank you very much.
Tired of your boring get-in job. Stop giving your kids advice. This is not about sex, is it? Because I don't know anything about that.
I know. Mom
called me. Tired of spending more time with your wife than with your car? Sounds like the Al Bundy syndrome. Snap out of it. Watch something special. Married with Children tonight.
3 months ago, we brought you the case of James Charles Stark, charged with the shooting death of an unidentified teenager in Banning, California. It happened in May of last year. Over 300 possible identities were phoned into our hotline. But on Tuesday, the FBI and Banning police confirmed the girl's identity using dental records. She was 18-year-old Sheila Renee Huff of Birmingham, Alabama. Sheila was learning disabled and disappeared near her home in February of last year. Her mother, Frances Ross, had spent a year and a half trying to find her daughter. She said it is painful to know her daughter is dead, but her search is over, and family members can finally grieve for their child. James Charles Stark is awaiting trial for her murder and for the rape of another woman. Viewers in Ann Arbor, Michigan located Stark on April 25th after we broadcast his photo. He faces the death penalty if he's found guilty of Sheila's murder. And now, a recap of tonight's cases. Rafik Brooks is wanted for theft, burglary, armed robbery, criminal conspiracy, and homicide in connection with 2 home robberies in Pennsylvania. He's 23, a boxer who knows martial arts. He sometimes uses the name of his brother, Eugene Brooks. He's reportedly been seen in Baltimore and in Detroit. And this is James Clark, said by the FBI to be the only man in America capable of robbing pay telephones. He's said to be an aspirin fanatic, taking up to a half a bottle a day, and paying for food he generally buys in 7-Eleven stores with rolls of coins. If you have information on either man, call us now at 1-800-CRIME-88. And Stephen DiLorenzo, if you're watching and just joining us, we have received your letter, and federal authorities are here in our studios to discuss your surrender. You can call them at our hotline, 1-800-CRIME-88. If the lines are busy, keep trying. The Justice Department tells us that the odds of an American being murdered in his or her lifetime are 1 in 132. A woman stands a 1 in 12 chance of being raped or the victim of an attempted rape. These are frightening statistics, but they don't justify taking the law into your own hands. If you see crime happening or you spot one of America's most wanted, call the police or the FBI. Work within the system to make America a safer place to live. I'm John Wall. We'll see you next week.
Tonight, all of you single women out there can come out of hiding. Gary Shandling is getting married. And be sure to catch Steve Martin when he teaches Tracy Ullman how to do the doggy wiggle. Now, stay tuned for the Emmy-nominated Married with Children. Peg feels neglected when Al becomes obsessed with a beautiful body. It's not the other woman. It's the other car.
This is Puget Sound Television.